Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back into Club Jaguar here, a February edition of Club Jaguar. Two NFL teams left as the Patriots and Seahawks will be playing this upcoming Sunday in the Super Bowl, but unfortunately, no Jaguars football. We'll have to wait till September for that. But still, as we all know, the NFL calendar rolls on, and the NFL calendar, I mean, it never really sleeps, right? I know we're all with today, we'll talk about offseason. We'll do a full recap of the Pro Bowl. I know all of us watched it. Can't wait to get Jordan and Jason's takes on that. Speaking of Jordan, what's up, man?
Yo, how we doing?
All is good, man. Just enjoying the vibes right now. Enjoying it. Good to have Club Jaguar back, man. First time in 3 weeks.
It is, man. We tried to do it last week, but Dalton was busy, so blame him.
Yeah, I was busy. You can blame that on me. I'm off season mode. The YouTube channel is slacking right now, but Jordan keeps pumping out the content. Okay, so Jordan has been posting on his channel on behalf of me. Is what's going on here. So next we'll bring in Jason. What's up, Jason?
Oh, not much, man. Just after that enthralling Pro Bowl, I just my football fix. I might not watch the Super Bowl after watching the Pro Bowl. I got my fix.
Yeah, I mean, it's an important game. Glad it's out there. Really like seeing Joe Flacco just sling the ball around. It's an amazing product out there, the Pro Bowl.
Shedeur Sanders. I mean, that's just quality football.
Yeah, no, it's quality football. But yeah, with all that said, I mean, it's all season.
Is your hair hiding under that hat?
Yeah, look at this, guys. Look at this. I got a haircut. I got a haircut. This is the hair reveal. So
wow.
Rate it out of 10 in the comments. If you guys want to see me take off more articles of clothing, subscribe to the get a membership. Okay, you guys can.
Saying you pulled a CJ Stroud. You're invoking the Houston Texans quarterback.
Ooh, I am pulling a CJ Stroud. Is that a bad look right now? Is it a wrong time to get a haircut?
I think this is a great time. It's the off season. Just do whatever you want.
It sucks because I got my haircut and then I saw CJ Stroud post about his haircut before I even made it public that I got a haircut. So now it looks like I'm following CJ Stroud. It's not a good look right now. It's not a good look. So
I think
he's following you.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's following me. So with that said, I know the Jaguars. Look, it was an awesome season, 13-4. I think last time we did the show, I was still a little bit in mourning of what happened after the Bills lost, but I think I'm kind of over it now. I think honestly, the Texans losing the way they did kind of helped me a little bit, ease the pain, because right now I'll tell you this: if the Texans were in a Super Bowl right now, whew, I would the vibes would not be great. But Jason, how are you feeling? 3 weeks after the wild card defeat, like how are you feeling overall right now?
I thought things would get better for me, but I still don't feel good. When you look at the teams that were in the playoffs and you look at the Jaguars really blew an opportunity this year, man. And ask any fan base that's been struggling to win a Super Bowl for 50, 60 years and teams that can't make it to the Super Bowl at all. These chances don't come along very often. And I just really, really hope that we didn't squander a really, really good opportunity, because it's really hard to get back to the Super Bowl. And I don't feel much better. Maybe after the Super Bowl I will, but just right now I really don't.
Yeah, how are you feeling, Jordan?
Yeah, it stings. I don't think when you have an opportunity like the Jaguars had, I don't think fans ever get over it. Like, we can still remember all the years where it was like, man, if this play went this way, who knows? 1999, 2017, 2022, now 2025 as well. But I think the beautiful thing is you have a leadership structure in place and a core group of players that you can feel confident in moving forward.
Yeah, and I think when you look back on the playoffs, we're all talking about seeding and this kind of stuff. Man, the Jaguars could have just climbed one spot, go from 3 to 2. Then the schedule is most likely looking like the Chargers, who the Jaguars really don't struggle against the Chargers historically. I mean, they handled them. The biggest blowout of the season was against them in 2025. I guess one of them. We had a lot of blowouts, but we handled business against them. Then you had the Houston Texans with CJ Stroud playing the way he did in the postseason, and then you had a Bo Nix-less Denver Broncos team over there. Of course, he would have had to play in an absolute blizzard, and who knows what happens. But man, that number 2 seed was looking a lot better than having the 3 seed and playing the freaking Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills first round. So I think ultimately that's what stings, that when you look back, some of these close losses like the Bengals and the meltdown against the Texans, you couldn't just flip one of those games around and would have gotten you the number 2 seed.
Ifs and buts, right? But the thing is, if you made it to, the divisional round, championship round, you were dealing with some weather as well. And look, Jags historically do not do well in those types of football games. And maybe it's different now. Maybe you would have been able to handle it, but that's something to keep in mind. And I also think we're going to see a little bit of a bloodbath on Sunday. I think the NFC was going to win the Super Bowl this year, bottom line, whether the Jaguars made it or not.
Yeah. No, yeah, the Seahawks, I think the Seahawks are going to destroy the Patriots, to be completely honest with you. I don't know, Jason, what do you think?
I can't seem to sit on one side of the fence. Like, it seems like the easy answer is the Seahawks are going to destroy them, but it never seems to go the way we all think it will. You know what I mean? I just it always seems to not go that way. And I know there's been a history recently where the Super Bowls weren't close, but I think the Seahawks win. I just think I like Vrabel a lot as a coach, but I just think the Seahawks are a better coach team. I really think Mike McDonald is just a better coach. And if the X factor to me, and probably to everybody, is Sam Darnold, I think the Seahawks will win by as many points as Sam Darnold allows them to. So I think that's going to be your X factor for the game.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, because I think a lot of us, we think of Sam Darnold and we think of the old Sam Darnold, but I mean, the past 2 seasons, Sam Darnold's been pretty good. Yeah. I know he ended the season with the Vikings, I guess maybe not very good, but I think at some point we just have to recognize that Sam Darnold might be a pretty good quarterback. And also the Seahawks in general, I think over the course of the NFL season, of course, there's highs and lows and peaks and valleys of each team. But I think when you look at overall from September through December, I think the Seahawks were probably the best team in the NFL over that span. I mean, playing in an extremely difficult NFC West and still get the number 1 seed. And Jackson Smith and Jigba, I mean, getting rid of DK Metcalf and just allowing him to flourish the way he has and just unlocking all that potential. I mean, I don't know if I've seen such a good addition by subtraction for a team in some time than what that trade actually did for them.
Yeah. By the way, I still think the Rams are the best team in the NFL. Obviously, they lost to the Seahawks last 2 times they played, but I do not know how they had that punt returner back there again. If you remember, I mean, the guy, he muffed a punt earlier and was able to get back on it, and then later in the game, he muffs a punt, and that's curtains in a game like that. So that was horrible. Yeah. And then after he fumbled a second time, they decided to pull him, but you knew he had issues going into that game, and after there was a first sign of weakness there, they had to make a move, and they didn't do it. But JSN is the ultimate weapon right now. Teams cannot stop him, and they have a really good offensive line. Obviously, super talented receiver, good tight ends, great defensive front, great defense as a whole, well coached on both sides of the ball. To me, the Patriots are talented. They're well coached. It would take some real fluky stuff to happen, in my opinion, for the Patriots to win that football game.
Yeah, I would agree. And turnover margin is everything, especially in the playoffs. You talk about, you win these games by playing mistake-free football. And, obviously the Rams just didn't really do that. So, overall, it stinks the way the postseason win for the Jaguars. I know it still stings a little bit for me, especially when Drake May is, winning games with less than 100 passing yards or whatever. AFC we felt was wide open, and there's no telling what it's going to look like next year. There's no telling. I mean, we'll see if the Chiefs can rebound. There's still some good quarterbacks around there. But of course, I think the AFC is a little bit volatile. What are we going to get out of the Bengals with Joe Burrow? I mean, there's Lamar Jackson, the Ravens. Are they going to come back? You still got Josh Allen, who's going to be a pain in the neck. So coaching changes for sure. Mike Tomlin out, John Harbaugh out, Sean McDermott out. So a lot of movement going on. But I will say, like Jordan was saying earlier, the stability that the Jaguars have right now, we were kind of getting a little bit, I don't know the right word for it, but a little bit scared, and maybe we were kind of preparing for a departure of defensive coordinator Anthony Campanile, who got looks by the Ravens. He got looked by the Arizona Cardinals. I think were pretty heavily interested in him. The Miami Dolphins as well. He ultimately is staying. He also saw Grant Udinski. I think the Browns were pretty interested in him. If you read between the lines, it sounded like Jimmy Haslam was going to try to stick him with Jim Schwartz, and I don't know if he wanted that. And then now you look at it, they hired Todd Monken, and Jim Schwartz is pissed. It's a pretty bad situation over there for the Browns. And Udinski also interviewed with the Bills, so they were getting some looks. We were all hoping for 2 years out of these guys. It looks like we will get at least 2 years out of them, and hopefully we only get 2 years, because ideally we do really well this year, and then both these guys kind of depart. But yeah, stability there. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator Heath Farwell, of course, is still over here. So Jordan, what do you make of all these guys sticking around?
It's an unmitigated just home run. Like, there's no question about it. If they had to take time to replace Anthony Campanile and Grant Udinski, or either or, Campanile was more important to keep. He was. I love Grant Udinski. I think he's a great part of this team, but you have to start from square one if you lose Anthony Campanile. Right? This is still Liam Cohen's offense, and they're able to keep both of them. I think that having that continuity moving forward into this 2026 season gives them an opportunity to say that they're in a legitimate Super Bowl window. I don't think anybody in that building thought entering 2025 that they were going to be as good as they were. And they wouldn't have been without some of the moves they made in season, particularly Jacoby Myers. But now they are like, okay, we're on the scene. We're the first place team. How do we evolve? How do we get better? And I think one of the ways you evolve is growing into year 2 of the system on both sides of the ball with all these players that had not been in the system until 2025. Now you're getting into year 2. You can take steps forward if you're Trevor Lawrence, if you're Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Myers, Britton Strand, all these guys. And on both sides of the ball too.
So what do you think? What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I agree with everything Jordan said. Just if you look at the reality of the situation, it's not so much. I mean, every team can point to improving in the offseason and building off the success from the previous seasons, and everyone's hopeful for that. And there's a lot of playoff teams this year that are saying the same things that we're saying. I believe in it. I mean, I'm a firm believer. I'm excited about next year. Reality is you got to keep those key guys healthy, and you can't always help that,
Yeah.
So
they did a good job battling through injuries this year. Got to give them credit for that.
All right. And we were a lot of teams, their quarterback got injured, and that's going to be a huge deal for us is keeping Trevor Lawrence healthy. And I think as long as that happens, everything else, I think we could battle through and fight through. It's just, man, like it's exciting. I'm happy they're both back. Both the coaches, the familiarity in the locker room is going to help. The language is going to stay the same. And you can imagine it only going to get better with the same faces in all the meeting rooms.
Yeah, and I think it's just huge, honestly, keeping Anthony Campanile, because the biggest asset to Liam Cohen is definitely probably Anthony Campanile, just because I even heard Bruce Arians on a I don't know if it was a podcast or what it was, but he basically, they were kind of asking him how hard is it to be a head coach and call plays at the same time, and he goes, look, if you're going to be a head coach and call plays, it's extremely difficult, and you better have a good defensive coordinator, because Liam Cohen, I mean, these guys, Sean McVay, they basically hand over the defense to the defensive coordinator, and it's their defense. And if you lose Anthony Campanile, I don't know what direction you go. I don't know if there's anybody in-house they feel comfortable promoting. You'd have to go, maybe go somewhere else and do it. But, who is Liam Cohen comfortable with? It's tough. So you keep Anthony Campanile. I imagine, Liam Cohen probably has a short list of guys that he would want in the case of 2027 departure of Anthony Campanile. But that's I think keeping him is key, and maybe it helps influence some of the decisions on maybe who you want to keep on defense that are upcoming free agents. So I think Grant Udinski, keeping him is also very well. I mean, he gets I think people I think the only criticism that people may have of him when they're talking about exploring guys is like, oh, well, you know, it was Kevin O'Connell calling plays, not him. It's Liam Cohen calling plays, not him. But, you know, I think he'll be a pretty good head coach one day. And I just,
and
you know, I hope for him.
KOC didn't call plays before he got to Minnesota.
Yeah, I was going to say, I
no,
don't think Kevin
exactly.
O'Connell called plays.
Yeah,
so that's
no,
the funny kind of.
Didn't the Cardinals just hire the OC from the Rams just now again?
Yeah, they
say?
hired Clint. No, not Clint Kubiak. They hired the Green Bay brother.
LaFleur.
Yeah, LaFleur.
Yeah, the Cardinals hired Mike LaFleur.
Yeah.
So
not to be confused with Peter LaFleur.
Yeah, that Sean McVay coaching tree, man. It's getting pretty big. Pretty big. He's been talking about a great influence in the football community. So keeping those guys around. I mean, that's going to be a big thing. They did make some minor adjustments as well to the coaching staff when it comes to different positional coaching guys. So all pretty good stuff. So I want to move on. Of course, you know, we have free agent Devin Lloyd, who I think a lot of people are debating, like, what do we do with Devin Lloyd? Is he coming back on a new deal, or is he someone that we kind of let walk? I want to get y'all's, you know, temperature gauge on, you know, whether you think that Devin Lloyd stays or if he walks. You know, we can start with Jason.
I mean, the more time that goes by, the more higher probability that he does not come back. You know, I hope he does. I mean, I like Devin Lloyd this year, and I think he's a great asset to this defense. I just not being in those meeting rooms and not knowing how those coaches prioritize that linebacker spot. We've seen in the past in LA. I think Jordan's talked about this, where they don't Jordan was talking about this on the on 1010XL when he did his radio spot on Hacker.
Hey, don't promote 1010XL.
Sorry,
but go ahead.
Okay. Jordan had a great spot, and I think Jordan brought up that LA has gone cheap at linebacker over the years, and so thanks, Jordan, for that little bit that I can use on this show. But yeah, I mean, it seems like that's the direction that they're heading. I'd love to keep him, but that price tag of $20 million, obviously you can't franchise tag him at $28 million. You know, is there a transition tag type situation? I don't really know what that means. So I'll let Jordan kind of talk about what actually might happen.
Yeah, we'll get the resident expert in here. Jordan, what are your thoughts?
I don't think tags make any sense. I really don't think that they make sense for a team like the Jaguars, who they don't care about spending money.
I mean, it only makes sense if you tag and trade, right?
So if you're talking about Devin Lloyd, no one's going to trade for that tag.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They're going to rip it up and do a new contract. But that whole thing is just, I don't think that that's a good way to operate organizationally. I don't think it shows respect for your players. And I just don't think there's any reason, any need to do that. Because if you really want to, if you're going to go cheap in free agency this year and Devin Lloyd walks and a couple other guys walk, guess what? You're getting draft capital back for that the following year thanks to compensatory pick formula. So I don't think you need to try to tag and trade him. If you want to keep him, it's probably going to be $18 to $20 million a year. Even the hometown discount might be $17 million a year, which is what Zach Bond signed for last year. He talked about Devin Lloyd with Kevin Patra of NFL.com earlier this week before the Pro Bowl that they have not had any negotiations. They have not had talks about this new contract yet. And there's still plenty of time for that to happen. The Jaguars can write a nice big number on a contract and Devin Lloyd can sign it overnight, right? Like that's, to me, it's not an issue of whether or not they have time to get it done. It's whether or not they want to get it done. And my best guess would be no. I think Anthony Campanile is a great defensive coordinator, a great linebacker coach.
Yep.
And Tim Lukabu is as well. And I think they drafted Jack Kaiser for a reason. They still have Ventrell Miller in the building, and they still have Foye Oluokun. And they have a free agency class that is loaded with off-ball linebackers that are going to be cheaper than Devin Lloyd, and a draft class that is loaded with off-ball linebackers that is getting praise from the top to the bottom. Like around the NFL draft community, people are fired up about this off-ball linebacker class. So I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, I don't know that they spend $20 million on this guy. I would love to see him back too, Jason. You know, as somebody who's watched his career, who knows what he can do in this defense, which is basically play at an all-pro level, I would love to see him back. I just don't know how they make that the priority.
Yeah, I personally lean toward not re-signing him, and there's a few different things that definitely go into this. I mean, when you look at the totality of his career, the first 3 years, it kind of left you wanting more, right? I mean, it's a first-round pick. I don't know if we would have maybe put the bust label on him, but it's like this guy has something that we're just not getting everything out of. And then you bring in Anthony Campanelli in his final year, he really explodes. And it scares me a little bit that he could be an ultimate candidate for like give him a big contract, but he doesn't perform up to the contract and he gets paid based on his final year and not what he has done throughout his career. Then also, but also at the same time, this keeping Anthony Campanelli and make it to where it's like, okay, like he played so well in this defense, maybe they keep him around. But when you look at the Jaguars' two biggest free agents that we discussed, it's linebacker Devin Lloyd and it's also running back Travis Etienne. And you could argue that I think
on Buster Brown.
Yeah, and Buster Brown. But if you're power ranking them, I think he's number 3, right? Buster Brown. So so when you look at it, running back, I think we all know it's the most devalued position on the offense. And if you talk about off-ball linebacker, I mean, you can have a discussion that maybe that's the most devalued position on the defense. I mean, you can argue between safety, but there's a discussion to be had there. And I just don't know at the Jaguars right now, like, are we structured right now to be a team that throws a bunch of money at him? Because he played excellent this season, but has he played his way to where the Jaguars can't afford his services? Because there's teams out there that have so much money, like the Raiders or dare I say the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, the Tennessee Titans. There's teams out there that have so much money that are just going to need to throw money just to get good players in the building. So I lean toward no, just because it's the Jaguars. It's not like right now you're looking around and you don't know who to sign. I mean, I take a look at next year. Like, I want to keep Parker Washington. I want to keep Britton Strange. Anton Harrison will be on a fifth year option. I just don't know if I want all this money allocated toward Devin Lloyd when you have a linebackers coach who is a defensive coordinator that knows that every single player on this defense improved. Like Jordan said, Jack Kaiser, Ventrell Miller, you mentioned that you also have a lot of draft picks as well. So I think there's spots to get better. I think in 2028 or 2026, if you don't keep Devin Lloyd, then your linebacker play might drop off a little bit there. But that's the ultimate price of when you get better. And that's the ultimate price of when you have a quarterback that's making a lot of money, an edge rusher that's making a lot of money. And outside of that, you got, Cole Van Lanen, you got Jacoby Myers, you got a bunch of guys that are on new contracts. So you got to weigh out everything. And this is where GMs make their money, right? You want to continue to rise and you want to be relevant all throughout. And I just don't know if the Jaguars right now are in a position where they can throw a bunch of money at a new contract for Devin Lloyd. That's my stance.
Isn't it crazy that we're talking about letting a second team all-pro player just walk? Yeah. Isn't that just crazy? Like, let's think about it.
He should have been first team all-pro.
He should have been first team. Like, let's think about this for a second. This dude was second team all-pro, should have been first team all-pro. And we're sitting here all being like, yeah, we're probably going to let him walk. Like, think of where we've been as a franchise and where we're at now that we're even having this discussion.
Yeah. And like you said, Jason, and I said, I don't want to let him walk.
Me neither. Yeah.
I strongly believe that the Jaguars, with the way the cap is rising and the way that Shad Khan can put big numbers on a check, because again, for the Jaguars, it's not about money. It's about cap. It's about being able to work within the rules of the salary cap. I think that they could legitimately sign all 3 of their top free agents if they wanted to prioritize it that way. My best guess is that they're not going to think that they can't, in the aggregate, replace Devin Lloyd. And maybe it's not as good in 2026, but you get a young guy in here, you develop Jack Kaiser, whatever it may be. In 2027, you're rolling at linebacker. But in 2026, how do you improve this defense? You get better on the interior of the defensive line with the ability to actually impact the backfield. You get Travis Hunter back at corner, right? These are ways where your defense can really take strides forward even while losing Devin Lloyd.
Yeah. And I agree. Yeah, and I know my priority this offseason, I think my overall priority is I want to see if we can build a nasty defensive line. Like I want a really good defensive line in 2026 that can get out to the passer. We can rush 4, and we're getting pressure. We have pressure coming in the interior. We have pressure on the outside. Like I want a unit that is scary, that is talked about. Oh, top 5 defensive lines in the NFL. You automatically think of Jacksonville. I don't know if that's going to come this year, but
Oh, it could.
ultimately, yeah, no, it
They
could.
could get there very quickly because they have
What do
some
you think the
pieces
path?
already.
What do you think the path is for that when it comes to very quickly? Is it signing free agents, or is it we got to make a big trade?
Free agents and draft. I mean, you can make a trade if you want, but there's a lot of guys out there going to be available in free agency, and I think you would be better, probably overall smarter, to pay a free agent pass rusher than to pay Devin Lloyd. That's another part of it, right? There's a fairly, I mean, there's guys at the top of free agency like Trey Hendrickson, going to be expensive. There's guys that are cheaper as well that I
Trey
think could make a
Henderson
big
makes it though. Do you think Trey Henderson makes it a free agency? Because every year we have
Yeah.
these guys where it's like, oh, we
I
want
think he does.
Yeah, man. I mean, if Trey Henderson makes it, man, that's I'm going after him, man.
But then you have guys like Caleb Chason. Yeah.
Ooh, the return.
You have guys like Boye Mafe, who are not going to be as much, and they have played kind of complementary roles already in their career. Like if you go sign Trey Hendrickson, he's got to know he's not going to be on the field all the time. Like he's probably not your starting base edge. Like he's kind of a DPR, your third edge type of guy. And you can get Trayvon on the field and him on the field at the same time, but that's mostly going to be in passing situations. So there's that type of path forward. There's doing that and drafting. There's also I would love to see John Franklin Myers from Denver added to the mix for the Jaguars. He's on a deal. I can't believe he's only making $7.5 million per year. I don't know what he's going to get upcoming in this free agency cycle. He's 29 years old, but that guy is the type of guy that if you just start stacking players like that, you can be that defensive line that kicks ass up front, that Seattle Seahawks or Denver Broncos type of defensive line.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm wondering, and this is what's so fascinating right now about James Gladstone, because I think this is really his first true offseason where I can really be like, okay, how does he attack this? Because last year we signed him 2 or 3 days before the combine. He didn't even have his group with him. He had to kind of basically work with what the Jaguars had, and then bargain bin hunting and free agency. We're carrying a lot of dead cap hits because of some Trent Baalke contracts he didn't really like, but he liked the players better off the squad. So I want to see how he attacks this. I really can't wait. And one guy I really want to talk about is Brian Thomas Jr. Now, I think my probably biggest bold prediction this offseason, I do think that James Gladstone likes trading guys around. I could see maybe the Jaguars acquiring a big defensive lineman potentially through trade, or maybe even getting rid of players through trade. And I truly do believe, when I look at it, I think Brian Thomas Jr. will be a big-time trade candidate. I'll even be willing to think that I think Brian Thomas Jr. will get traded this offseason. That's my big prediction. And here's the thing that I look at it as. Brian Thomas Jr. obviously started off the season, they wanted to make him the premier wide receiver 1 guy, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it for one reason or another. And it's hard talking about Brian Thomas Jr. because I almost feel like I'm getting into this CJ Henderson thing where it's we're trying to evaluate his mental health. We have all these psychologists in my comment section telling me what's going on with Brian Thomas Jr. And it's a dangerous game to play when you're trying to diagnose somebody. But I do think that, maybe there is a mental thing maybe playing in here. But ultimately, I think with him, if his role with the Jaguars going forward is what it was toward the end of the season when it comes to being the outside perimeter threat, that can be the downfield, take the top out the defense type of guy, that can also help bring some attention away from maybe the middle of the field and drag it to the outside. I think that's a pretty good role for the Jaguars. 3 to 5 receptions per game. That he's got himself a good role for the Jaguars. But if there's a team out there with a very young quarterback that needs receivers, and they say Brian Thomas Jr. for us, he's going to be a 7 to 11 reception guy per game. We see his tape. We had a really high grade on him in 2024. We think that he is a great player. Then all of a sudden, that team values him a lot more than what the Jaguars value him. And ultimately, everybody has a price. I mean, you even look at the Raiders, they're going to bring in Mendoza. Like, who are they throwing? Who's going to throw to right now? You even look at, dare I say, the Tennessee Titans. Like, Cam Ward needs some weapons. Who is he throwing to? Just throwing out a couple teams, but I don't know. I just think Brian Thomas Jr., I don't know how James Gladstone and this crew views him. Is he the 2024 standout, incredible rookie sensation, or is he the version of himself in 2025 where he struggled with drops, he was timid, there was just something off there? I don't know, but my gut tells me that James Gladstone is going to try to maximize this roster as much as he can, and I think he's great at doing that. I think he's great at maneuvering around and building the roster in an interesting way. And for me, I don't know. I think the Jaguars potentially move off of Brian Thomas Jr. What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised either way because they've been very publicly supportive of him. But I'm kind of two minds because you do see the play where it's like you absolutely screwed over your quarterback so many times this year. You did. A lot of that was early in the year. A lot of that was before he came back from injury. When he did come back from injury, which was week 13, he played better. He didn't get targeted all that much after that, right? But he only had one drop. I think that he was giving better effort in pretty much every regard, making decent plays. So I could see them saying, hey, we can build off what we saw down the stretch, and we know he has the talent. I can also see them saying, hey, we can go get a guy somewhere else that can replace his production and also give us just more confidence in the physicality, the ability to go over the middle, like to fit our offense a little bit better. I would not be surprised either way. And I know that's fence sitting. I've said I would probably lean towards keeping him just because I think that you don't find players that can do what he can do very often.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I think, for me, what it comes down to is like, how do other teams value him? Because they're going to take calls on him. He's on a cheap deal. It's not like a Tyson Campbell situation where they're shipping him out because of his contract. To me, like, what realistically are you going to get for him in return? And I just don't see the market out there being enough for us to lose a cheap, young, talented. I mean, I know he has his faults, but he's talented, man. I mean, he's quick. He makes a lot of big plays for the team. And I don't think you dismiss a guy like that for a 3rd round pick or a 4th round pick. And so I think because of that, he has more value being on the team. So for me, I kind of lean the same way. And I've talked about this before, but it seems like the wide receiver position is like the most injured position in the NFL. I know I'm always out here talking about injuries, but these GMs are thinking about that. Like, if Parker Washington goes down, Jacoby Myers goes down for an extended period of time, now you have Brian Thomas Jr. stepping in. That's a guy who's done it before. That's a guy who you've seen, and you know what he can do. You know what he does. Trevor is comfortable and confident with him, knowing what he can do. And I think that's more valuable than a 3rd or 4th round pick. So I'd like to see us keep them, unless some team, like Jordan said earlier, has had them on their draft board for years and is like, I can make this guy back to what he was, and they're willing to give up a 2nd or a 1st package.
Hey, let's give Dalton credit. He's the one that said that, not me.
Oh, I just assume that if it's something quality that it was Jordan, not Dalton, but that's just a fault of mine, I guess.
No, it's fair. I thought Jordan said it too, but apparently it was me. That's good stuff.
I do want to say something, though, about this potential for a trade. Let's say the Jaguars keep him around. They go into the draft, though, and they do end up a player falls to the 3rd round or 4th round that they like at receiver. They get into getting that guy on the field, and they're like, this guy can do it. This guy can absolutely do it. Then maybe you do trade Brian Thomas Jr. if you're still not feeling very confident in the direction for him on your team, and you get future draft capital while not pigeonholing yourself into having to draft a receiver to replace his role in 2026.
Yeah, I just feel like when it comes to because trading Brian Thomas Jr. is a pretty big trade, right? And these big trades happen between like March and the NFL draft. And then it happens kind of maybe before the trade deadline. This feels like trading him in August. It's kind of like a little bit weird timing, right?
I'm not saying it has to be August. It could be the
Yeah.
NFL trade deadline.
Yeah. I mean, potentially, but then at the same time, like if Brian Thomas Jr. is playing, I feel like if Brian Thomas Jr. is playing really well, you don't want to trade him. If he's not doing very well, you're decreasing his trade value. So I don't know if there's any better time to trade him between, free agency and the NFL draft. I just, and I know there's arguments for and against it. And to be honest with you, like I am 100% trust James Gladstone with whatever he does right now. I hope we keep Devin Lloyd. I hope we keep Brian Thomas Jr. because I want these guys to stand around. I want these guys to be our future. But I also want the best version of the Jaguars. And, I trust James Gladstone to do that. But, I know a lot of people say like,
if I could get a second round pick for him, I would do it.
Yeah,
I'll tell
probably.
you that much.
Probably. Do you think right now he has that value?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
That's what's so tricky. We don't know what teams value him.
Like, I don't think so.
I think the Jaguars right now would pull the trigger if they get a 35 to 40 overall pick for him. I think they pull the trigger, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what these teams. I don't know where these teams value him, and that's one thing that's interesting. Remember last year they came out with a report, Diana Rossini, who I know no one trusts, but they put out there that Jaguars were listening, and who was that put out by? Was it Brian Thomas Jr.'s agent? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Trent Baalke. I don't know. I just get this feeling that James Gladstone maybe tried to put it out there just to see if teams call him, right? What are teams interested in giving up for this guy? Because I look at Brian Thomas Jr. I look at Tony Baselli, Liam Cohen. What are these guys like? They want tough, physical football players. Is Brian Thomas Jr. a tough and physical football player?
No,
he's not.
No, and you look at the rest of the pass catchers. They are Jacoby, Parker, Brenton. They get after it.
They do. And I don't know. That's just what I come back to.
It's a really difficult conversation to have, in my opinion.
It is. And
I mean, I know we're staying on it for a second longer here, but he's had some big catches for us, especially, I know maybe it was like 2 catches and 3 catches a game toward the end of the season, but there were some big, deep balls he caught on the sideline, and Trevor seems to trust him with that deep ball throw. And I think that's valuable, especially.
I agree.
Especially at a position where you got a guy who's playing both ways, and then you got like 2 guys in front of him on the depth chart, making him a true 3, in my opinion, at an injury-prone position with a guy that's on a cheap deal. Like, I feel like that's too good to just trade away for a pick that could or could not be good.
Yeah. I would trade him for a 2, not a 3.
Yeah. And I almost wonder if he's a part of a big trade package, right? You want to get a big impact defensive tackle, big impact defensive end. I'll throw it out there just because he's the first name I think of. But if they were to try to make a trade for Max Crosby, throw a Brian Thomas Jr. in there, to facilitate something like that. Because I think one great thing about James Gladstone is he's able to make these trades by trading away players on his own team as opposed to just throwing draft capital, right? In the past, we've always just seen you want this guy, you give up draft capital. You want to trade away this, you want this guy. They want this guy draft capital, right? So, I think he's done a great job of using players the Colin Saunders with Luke Fortner, with Tyson Campbell and Greg Newsome, and I don't know. I think there is a big.
I don't think either of those worked out.
No, they didn't work out, but I'm just saying there's
he traded away players. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, there's players for players, but I don't know. I think he's going to make at least one big trade this offseason. Because you even look at, for example, Jalen Ramsey's been on his 4th NFL team. He's never been a free agent, right? Some of the better players in the NFL, they don't reach free agency. So, you got to kind of get creative when it comes to going out there and trading for him. But I don't know. I hope Brian Thomas Jr. we can captivate his rookie version of him. But like I said, I don't know.
We talked about Max Crosby, you mentioned. Did y'all see what Ryan O'Halloran proposed the trade for Max Crosby?
What was it, like 2 first for him?
2 first-round picks, Trayvon Walker, and a 3rd-round pick.
I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably too rich for me.
Now, if James Gladstone did it, I'd be like, all right, let's roll Max Crosby, but I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Now, if you remove Trayvon Walker, I'm starting to think about it, because then you're talking about Trayvon, Josh, Max. I mean,
I think we have a Max Crosby at home.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Trayvon Walker is Max Crosby.
I mean, Josh Hines-Allen should be Max Crosby.
I feel like he is in a range.
Yeah, I
similar
mean,
range.
I'm keeping Josh Hines down, but we need running mates with him, right?
Yeah.
Like he can't do it all on his own. I mean, the Bills just locked him down because
I like Trayvon Walker. I mean, we got to admit he was injured this year.
I love him.
Yeah, he had flashes.
I think he would have had a huge year if he didn't get injured.
Yeah,
it was multiple injuries.
I put more like you need to step it up from Josh Hines-Allen than Trayvon Walker. Like that's who I'm like.
No, they were both.
I know we had this conversation about pressures, but give me some sacks, man. Like, come on. Like,
he also led the AFC in turnovers forced amongst defensive linemen. He was also a great run defender. Like the dude was balling out. I think you give him a little bit more help, and you see the sack numbers rise across the board.
Yeah, Jason, you don't know shit, bro.
Yeah, seriously.
Listen to Jordan.
I also think if you have a better player across the field from Buster Brown, if you have Buster Brown back, you're in a much better spot. I mean, how many times was it Greg Newsome that these teams were completing passes on?
Yeah.
Greg Newsome. We don't have to bring Greg Newsome back, do we?
No, absolutely not.
Are we prioritizing him?
No.
What about you, Jason? You prioritizing?
Yeah, I got to bring him back. Locker room guy. His barber alone is probably worth his contract.
We need great locker room guys, right? Leaders, leaders of men.
Leaders of men.
I want to give a shout out to Sleeper, this channel and this Club Jaguar sponsor. Look, 1 game left. We got the Super Bowl. We're gonna make some picks over here live, but with Sleeper, remember, free $20 entry using promo code UCFJAG or a 100% match up to $100. So if we look over here, Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown, Cooper Kupp 3.5. One thing I'm going to do, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think he goes off. I mean, I'm picking Jackson Smith and Jigba as my Super Bowl MVP, but I'm not sure if there's maybe Jason Myers. Yeah, let's see. Let's see anytime touchdowns.
I mean, Christian Gonzalez, if he follows him.
I don't care, bro. I love Christian Gonzalez. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care who's covering JSN.
Okay.
Has anybody been able to cover JSN?
No.
Okay.
The way they can move him around, I mean.
Yeah, no, I know.
Ooh, I don't know if I like any of these. Maybe Kenneth Walker. Yeah, I'll go.
It's
Kenneth
run
Walker
defense
anytime.
good.
Go to receptions. That's where can you get receptions? That's where I make my money.
Receiving yards or receptions?
Receptions.
Okay, let me see. Receptions. Here we go. Okay, Cooper Kupp 3.5, Stephon Diggs 4.5. We gotta get a Patriot in here.
JSN 6.5.
That's a. I mean, that seems kind of low.
I think I already put his. I don't know if I can do him again since I put. Okay, I'm good on that. We just gotta pick someone from the Patriots. Let me. We'll just do
rushing yards.
Ooh, rushing yards. He's at they discount him to 31.5.
You got that discount.
Yeah, I kind of like that. He's been rushing around.
Yeah, that's not bad. I don't know how much of a discount that is.
I know it's still not like super low.
Yeah.
If it was 25, I'd be like, all right, let's.
Jeez, look at Henderson, the fall off, man. Everyone drafted him high in fantasy. Everyone drafted him high in fantasy. He's in the Super Bowl with 18.5, higher or lower.
I wonder though if they do use him more because they're not in this crap weather game.
Yeah,
like I assume San Francisco, Santa Clara, the weather is going to be okay.
Not a blizzard.
I've been racking up money on like pocket quarterbacks and their under rushing yards.
Okay,
interesting. You want to go less there?
I think that less than 6.5. That's something I might take there.
Less than 6.5. Wait, on the rushing yards?
Yeah.
Sam.
right here. Drake
No,
May.
Yeah, Sam Darnold.
Oh, Sam Darnold. I see. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense. For some reason, I saw that 6.5 receptions for JSN, but I'm on a different page. Okay. So let's see. We're going to get these 5 in here. We'll do players from 2. Oh, I didn't even take a Patriot? Okay. Yeah, we got to take a Patriot. We'll just go Drake May 220.5. What do you? I think less.
Yeah,
I think less. He's been.
Yeah.
He hasn't been doing all that well. So we'll put $10 down to win 88. These are our picks. Shout out to Sleeper for your current location requires what?
Dalton moved. Dalton moved to a not gambling state.
Am I in a not gambling state? Location Florida. You know what? We're gonna figure this out later because
right.
I'm not in the mindset to do this. But yeah, Sleeper, legal in Florida. At last I checked, but but shout out to them, man, for sponsoring here. Okay, so we talked about Brian Thomas Jr. I guess we got to talk about Travis Etienne, right? I would lean. I mean, I was saying no a lot, but you almost look at these things and you want to do everything to help out Trevor Lawrence, right? How can we repeat and even do better with his success in 2026? Travis Etienne, I don't think he's definitely not going to cost as much as a Devin Lloyd. I can see the Jaguars keeping him around. I don't know if they can get him on a 2-year deal, maybe a 3-year deal that's more like a 2-year deal. The easier thing about a Travis Etienne is like if you get rid of Devin Lloyd, I don't know if you feel as good as with the backups as you do with maybe Bashal Tootin getting rid of Etienne, but I'm kind of leaning that maybe the Jaguars keep around Etienne because I don't think it's going to break the bank. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. I mean, you can get him. His value was more than what his contract will cost. I guess that's the bottom line for me. And like what he adds to this team, he even got like pretty good at pass blocking there towards the end of the season, which was good to see. I just think even though we drafted 2 running backs last year, I mean, I think most teams at some point will use 3 running backs. So, you got to have 3 anyways that you trust. And so I think the value that he brings is just worth the 3 years, $9 million a year or something like that.
What do you think, Jordan?
I fully endorse bringing back Travis Etienne.
Wow. Jason must have listened to you on 10th and XL, and that's where you got that take from.
Great receiver.
Jordan. I'm just like Jordan's like a little parrot.
Yeah. Clearly.
How the times have changed.
Yeah, we need to go 4-13 again. Get you guys arguing.
He's a great receiver, really good runner, explosive runner, and like you said, he developed greatly in pass pro. And look, you might be able to get somebody that checks 2 of those boxes in the draft as a rookie. I don't think you get somebody that checks all 3 of those boxes. And he did everything you could ask. He's not playing a position like he's not going to get $20 million like Devin Lloyd is. So like you're in a much better spot with that. And I would just love to have Etienne, Tootin, and Allen back for year 2 of this thing and not having to worry about running back at all in the draft. And you can focus on some, more trench play. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
If you can go into the draft and be able to just like find these big boys and get after it, that's what I love to see.
Yeah, and that's what's been so great about Etienne is like great runner, but also, I mean, he helped out tremendously in the pass game. I mean, the receiving touchdowns this year, I don't know. Was there anybody on the Jaguars that had more receiving touchdowns than Etienne? I don't know at the top of my mind, but
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, he was killing it in that game. And the pass pro too, I mean, if they needed him to be a 3-down running back, I mean, he could be. Obviously, the Jaguars don't want to get to that point because they have running backs with very specific roles. But, bringing him back, it keeps kind of the chemistry on offense, and he's not falling off at all, right? I was on AFC South Roundtable, and I was talking about, maybe the Jaguars move on from him, and then the Texans guys like, oh, we could potentially be interested in like Travis Etienne. I'm like, you know what? No, we'll keep
never mind.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
Who else wants Travis Etienne?
Probably the Titans.
Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not saying like inside the building they do, but all their fans are like, yes, let's go get him.
Their cap situation is not great though, right? I don't know,
but I mean anybody can afford a running back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy the Patriots have like a ton of cap room.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had the most cap space in football last year.
It's just not right that a Super Bowl team is up there in cap space.
Yeah.
I think they could fall off big time.
Not when they re-sign Calavon, they pick up Devin Lloyd, they trade for Travon Walker. They're going to be nasty.
Yeah,
One thing I did want to say about Devin too is like you talked about him having the breakout in his contract year, and is he due for some regression? I think if he goes to the wrong team, he definitely could regress back to the more inconsistent player we saw. But in a scheme like what Anthony Campanile did with him, where they simplified the coverage, and then just when he's not in coverage, you're just letting him fly downhill and make plays, and even rush the passer some. That was just perfect for him. The way they simplified it got him out of his head a little bit. If you go to a defense that allows you to do that, yeah, he can go crazy again. But if he goes to a defense where they're like, you're going to fit into what we're doing and we're not going to build this position around you, yeah, you could see some more inconsistencies.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? How do you think Devin Lloyd would look in a brand new Gus Bradley Tennessee Titans defense? Probably decent. They got Robert Saleh.
I see him going to the Patriots for some reason. I just have that in my brain.
Okay.
Vrabel getting a linebacker like him. I think that's what he wants. They got the cap space for it.
Yeah, it's like I know we might not be able to keep him, but is it wrong that I don't want him going anywhere else though?
It's like when you break up with a girl and you
yeah,
don't want
exactly
to get a boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be crazy if he went to Tennessee, because I remember like his first interview, he was like,
"Oh yeah,"
they were asking him what you know about the Jaguars.
We don't like the Titans.
I know we don't like the Titans.
Yeah, but I mean, there's people in the chat mentioning like, oh, maybe he'll take a hometown discount. Now, this is your first big contract. I mean, you don't owe anything to Jacksonville. Go out there. Yeah, go out there, make your money, take the most. I don't hold any grudges on that. Like, he's in no place to take a hometown discount because he's healthy. You never know what could happen in your next contract. I mean, this could be your. I mean, again, don't want to be grim, but it could be his last. You never know what could happen. So go out there, make your money, and set yourself up for life. We got some super chats in here. Shout out to Steve Boston with a $5 donation. He didn't say anything. He just wanted to show some love. So shout out to him.
Thank you, Steve.
Big Jags fan says Ventrell Miller will take over for Lloyd. Yeah, that very well might happen, or maybe a rookie, or maybe a free agent. We'll just have to see. Tekken says,
I think he can defend the run the way Devin did.
But he's not going to create turnovers the way that Lloyd did.
Hey,
if you
I
throw
saw him catch that punt against the Jets.
Yeah, did he have a forced fumble? Is that what he
did? Yeah, the punt. That's what I was thinking of when the guy just threw. What was it? Brady just threw it into his chest.
Yeah,
the easiest interception I might have ever seen in my life. But very athletic play. So Tegan says, I really think we should bring back Etienne. I'm not too hyped about the running backs in the draft, and Etienne is better for us in our situation than other free agent running backs. Jason, what do you make of the running backs in this draft class?
Well, what I can tell you about is the defensive linemen in this draft class, because that's all I've gotten to yet. And my problem is that there is no D linemen around our draft pick that are like penetrating, get after the passer type guys. There's a bunch of huge guys, the big citrus from Iowa State, Lee Hunter, the Texas Tech guy who may have to trade up.
No, UCF guy.
Yeah, UCF guy transfer, but big guys, Dante Corleone from Cincinnati. Like, there's some big guys there, but they're not really guys that can get to the quarterback, which I think we want at that spot. So haven't gotten into running backs yet, but I've gotten in through D-line and a little bit of the corners.
That's why it's all about John Franklin Myers, baby.
That's
your interior penetration.
It's hard to find interior D linemen that can penetrate and get after the quarterback.
I mean, we found an interior lineman in the 7th round that could be our starting center one day. So
yeah, there's definitely some later round guys that I think you should check out. Skylar Gill. He has like one of those last names that's two names. What is
hyphenated?
It? Yeah, he's from Texas Tech.
I don't want him already. I hate him already.
Texas Tech's pretty nasty though in defense.
Skylar Gill Howard. He's like a undersized pass rush type of guy up front. And then Navy's defensive lineman. He's Landon Coleman, I believe. he is he's a beast as well as an undersized type of guy. So I think that both of these guys could potentially be like day 3 picks for that type of thing. But as far as running back goes, my guy that I think most emulates Travis Etienne, if you're trying to get like a 1-for-1 replacement, is Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska. He's a little smaller than Etienne, but I think he brings a lot of the same skill set.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Check him out. He's a fun player.
Yeah, all the Nebraska games I watched this year, he really stood out.
Same. Yeah. Everything. I agree with everything Jordan said about him. My internet cut out for a second, so I don't know what happened there. But luckily we're still here. But yeah, it's by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but only 31 more Sundays until Jaguars football.
Wow.
Do we start a countdown now?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you what, I've definitely started the countdown for the legal tampering period.
Ooh, I like that day.
March 11th.
Yeah. It sneaks up on you. All of a sudden it's here and it's like, oh, we got it's cool because not only do you get like free, you get guys signing, but you also get a lot of trades too. It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm more
Jordan,
of
are
an
you?
illegal tampering guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm more of a tampering with consent kind of guy.
Oh, going down a dark road there, Dalton.
Winky face. That was me 10 years ago, but you know how it goes. But yeah, it's what was I gonna say? Oh, I got sidetracked.
You were gonna say the Jaguars need to sign Buster Brown.
Oh yeah, the Jaguars should sign Buster Brown. But Jordan, like, how did you actually think the Jaguars gonna get? Like, there's no way. Like, we're not gonna go after a bunch. I think maybe one. I mean, if Trey Henderson is there, I could see them throwing a bag at him. But I don't know. I feel like I'm not expecting the Jaguars to spend that much money. I'm expecting, maybe a little bit more when it comes to not as much quantity, and maybe a little less signing this season. But I just don't see the Jaguars being like Trent Baalke and Dave Caldwell just throwing money at all these guys and
they're not.
and these
they don't
free
need
agency.
to be.
Yeah,
but they should be aggressive to pursue, in my opinion, a defensive lineman that they identify.
Yeah.
Whoever that may be. Go get somebody to upgrade that defensive front.
Yeah. I'd want 2 guys. Maybe one through free agency, one through the draft. But yeah, I think
if you only get one in free agency, you get 2 in the draft. And obviously it depends on how the board falls, all that stuff. You can't just be reaching, but yeah, I want them to be aggressive up front.
Is there a chance that this front office is happy with the D-line and thinks the upgrade in the secondary is more important?
I know that they know they needed to upgrade the secondary. Part of that was firing Ron Miles and hiring Matthew Arujo.
Yep.
But I also think that they know the interior defensive line did not get enough pressure last year.
But as far as like the starting 4, do you think they're like okay with running those 4 back? Because how good they were against the run. You look at the time to throw with teams and that they did against us. Like, do you think?
I think the only one that would be in jeopardy would be Eric Armstead. I wouldn't be surprised if they extended Devon Hamilton. The guy was unbelievable as a run defending nose tackle last year.
Yeah.
And this team needs to remain a great run defense. They absolutely do.
It almost feels like you had to keep Eric Armstead around just because you need fucking bodies there, man. I don't know.
You could restructure them, maybe.
Yeah. I think there's probably be restructuring going on, right? Doing this, like converting the salary to bonuses thing and the void year stuff. That's a great thing about you have Shad Khan. He's not cheap, right? He's down to spend money. And especially, I think he had a lot of fun last year. So I think he wants to keep spending it because, I don't think he likes going into these owner meetings and being the ultimate loser. So,
but if you kept Armstead and Hamilton, obviously, brought in John Franklin Myers, and then drafted another edge or 2, and you're talking about Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker, probably a day 2 edge and a day 3 edge, Danny Strigo, BJ Green.
I think that's the route they go.
I think you're starting to cook.
I think they run it back with these 4. And I know everyone's wanted an upgraded pass rush from the interior, but they were number 1 against stopping the run, man. Like that's nothing to like shake your head at, So that's
Eric Armstead deserves a lot of credit for that too. He was so like they said the Bills are not going to beat us running the ball, and they didn't. And he was so disciplined and physical against the run.
Yeah.
It was a big deal.
Yeah. No, it was good. So I know it's I'm agreeing with you guys. I mean, at least I think we keep these guys around. And I know Jordan mentioned, like, you know, the Rams, maybe didn't value the linebacker position as much, but they value the defensive line. I mean, they drafted defensive line and they spent some money at defensive line. And I just think that, you know, I mean, we've heard Tony Baselli on the radio for so long talking about being nasty in the trenches. And I don't think that mindset all of a sudden changed. Like, I think they're going to do everything they can to make sure that, you know, long term, the offensive line and defensive line, you know, I think they want 2025 to be the worst years for those things, because they're always going to make sure that they keep those units loaded, and not only just top level talent, but a lot of depth, you know, especially on a D line, because you rotate these guys in and out. You have so many different personnel packages for different situations. I think that's going to be a major emphasis. And I think this offseason, that's the emphasis, is making sure that defensive line is nasty in 2026. That's what I'm hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
So
me too.
Yeah.
And don't stop with the OL. Go get somebody else that you feel confident in. Because I'm down to move on from Chuma Edoga.
Yeah.
Saved $3 million against the cap almost. I know everybody's down to move on from Walker Little, but I just don't think it's happening.
Yeah.
I think
they, I mean, he plays a lot of spots, right? Walker Little. I mean, you don't want him starting, but at the same time, like, if a right guard goes down, he's the first one that goes in a right guard. You know, if left tackle goes in, obviously he goes in there. Right tackle goes down, he's probably going into right tackle. So, you know, he's a versatile backup. I think they probably stick it out with him, because you can never have too many offensive linemen, right?
No,
and he's got a lot of starting experience, and obviously 2025 didn't work out as well as we would have liked. But hey, we found Cole Van Lanen, you know, which is a good piece.
Yep.
But with that said, that's been a Wednesday night edition here at Club Jaguar, an off-season version. Next year we'll be doing the Super Bowl version of Club Jaguar. How about that?
Oh yeah,
I'm calling it right now. No bias here. Jaguars are in next year's Super Bowl.
They should have a shot. They're in a window.
Yeah, no, they are. So, you know, with that said, we can go around. Jordan, you've been pumping out the content on GenJag, man. Tell us all about what you've been coming out with, and, you know, what you got coming up.
Yeah, pretty much just any mock drafts that I see that feature the Jags, talk about the prospects they get, whether it makes sense, anything like that. Any potential free agent type stuff. I'm looking at a lot of that. And then also, you know, talking about Devin Lloyd today, if any news comes out about players talking about their contract, we will be there. We'll be talking about it for sure. Devin Lloyd said he'd like to stay in Jacksonville, but talks have not happened yet.
Yeah. But they didn't happen with, I mean, I guess it's their regime, but whatever. You know, we know how it goes. They might not have talked yet, but then it ramps up.
It can happen quickly.
Yeah, it happens quickly.
I'm not saying it will, but it can.
I mean, they know the market number. Jaguars know what they need to get to. You know, Devin Lloyd's agent knows what they need to get to. It happens quickly, so they're in evaluation mode. But Jason, Jaguars United YouTube channel, man. Is it popping like GenJag right now?
No, it is not. But maybe here soon for a little bit. Rather than talk about my channel, I have a question for y'all. As beard experts, how the hell do you get it to not itch 24/7? Is there a secret? Because mine just itches like hell all day, every day.
Dude, I have a baby beard. I mean, no, mine never itches, but I've never not have a beard. It does not itch me.
I think it's something about like not having it all the time.
So you're just saying I have like soft skin, right? Is what you're saying?
Maybe like
I'm soft. Okay.
Mine does not itch at all.
Wow.
I think it's like a low testosterone issue.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Oh Lord.
I'm joking with you,
keep working on it. You'll be all right.
I mean, it's about to go. I got about one more day in me, and then
maybe get some conditioner in there.
See, that's just too much. I mean, that's what I was going to say. If that's what it takes.
I don't condition mine.
Okay.
I don't either, but I know that, you know, that should make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah. We talk about tough physical players on the Jaguars. We also
Ryan Thomas Jr. in the same boat.
Tough physical players on Club Jaguar as well, you know. But yeah, that's I don't know. I've just always had it. But I have the baby beer. I got the 5 o'clock shadow thing. Jordan's the master of it. If anybody
Pretty
has any
tame right now.
beard inquiries, go check out Jordan. But yeah, on my channel coming up. Look, my channel's been awful. I'll be honest with you. I haven't posted much. You guys should all unsubscribe to me right now.
All right,
And,
done.
Out of here.
revisit me in September when I'm doing a live. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I mean, I'll be making content, videos, all that good stuff. Just I guess just kind of chilling right now. I've been doing TikToks. TikTok's my area right now, so just trying to pick up where Jordan's slacking. Jordan, you're not doing TikTok, so I think I need to enter that space and just fill people's
TikTok
feed.
guy. I don't have TikTok.
Jordan
so.
does the dances, like with the music, like the trends.
Yeah, I'm just not into. I'm not into what Jordan's TikTok content is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, dancing with Jordan. What is it called? Dancing with Jordan?
I thought TikTok was canceled.
Oh no.
No, we're thriving over here.
That's a big
right.
thing.
You wouldn't know because you're outside the club. Okay.
Yeah. That's like the
Bummer.
inner club, the back room.
Yeah, that's the after
TikTok's
party.
the
Is
VIP.
TikTok. Yeah. I'm going to TikTok after this for the after party. So, but with all that said, appreciate you guys for watching. Also, drop a like. Also, hype up this stream. I don't know what it does, but like YouTube sending me emails telling me to get people to do that. So, hype this stream and all the good stuff. But with all that said, appreciate you guys for being here. We'll catch you guys in a couple of weeks, and go Jags.